It's live. Oh yeah, Black Sun in the Hizzle, all the shizzle dizzle. We got an excellent show here today. We got Michelle and we got cousin Tay.
Niece, tenacious.
Niece. Okay, niece. Tenacious. Okay, hey, Tenacious, how you doing? How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Cool. I'm doing good, doing good. So Fitness Friday. I don't know if Michelle told you. We discuss, of course, workouts. She tells me that you're actually in competition.
Yeah, I bodybuild. I'm an amateur bodybuilder for NPC, which is
Okay.
it's it's working up into being an IFBB pro. It's pretty much the amateurs of IFBB pro.
Now, is it the okay? So, does the IFBB? I always say that. So they recruit from there? So is that like the first stage and then the second stage?
So what happens with NPC? You compete and you have to compete in what they call qualifier shows, and
Okay.
then you have to place. Some shows will do the overall winner. Some shows will do the top two are then qualified to participate in national shows. Once you compete in a national show, you have to again. Some shows are overall, and then some shows are top two. In the
Right.
national qualifying show, they give away pro cards at the national qualifying show or the national
Okay.
show.
Okay. 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 Um. So you got how many now? Because in the men's you got all type of classifications. How many classifications are we looking at in the women's competition?
You have bikini, then you have
Okay.
wellness, which is fairly new in the United States, and then you have figure, physique, and then the biggest one, which is bodybuilding.
Okay, so those are three. Now, explain the newest one because I've never heard of that one.
So figure or wellness is more bottom heavy. So you'll see women with bigger quads, big
Okay,
glutes, and they aren't as built up top. They still have muscle mass, but it's more. I don't want to say soft, but it's not as hard as any other category above it.
okay,
The
okay.
division
So
above it.
I call that the biker physique, where they got the huge quads, they got more cut upper body, but yeah, they got huge quads. So yeah, I definitely call that the
Defined,
biker. The
defined
the type.
hamstrings,
Uh-huh.
just more built. It's not proportioned. So
Right.
bikini is more proportioned. Those are the leaner girls who have muscle mass and are completely leaned out and they're proportioned. Then you have the
Okay.
wellness where they are bottom heavy, and then you have figure, which we like to refer to it as a martini glass shape.
Okay.
So wide lats, broad shoulders, the legs are cut up, but they're leaned out. And then physique is where you go to both cut legs and upper body. And then bodybuilding is really big mass. That's
Okay.
all the way. That's when you look and they're completely 100% shredded. They're just big.
Right. Okay. Okay. So I guess the first thing I guess people are curious about because the diet to get like shredded. I know you guys have to refrain from salts, uh, refrain from spices. So is it true y'all got to eat a lot of bland food, basically?
It doesn't have to be bland. You have so many companies now that do things that produce products for bodybuilders. So
Uh huh.
there are some seasonings that you can use. Like I said, like you said, you have to just refrain from salt because as we know, salt
Right.
you retain water.
Hmm.
So I still season my food very lightly, but I still season my food. I don't eat bland. I enjoy my meals.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's not
So the
bad.
bland days are over for the bodybuilders. They ain't got to go through that. Okay, because yeah, a lot of them back in the day they'd be grumpy.
And they make all type of
Yeah.
sauces that are sugar free, low
Okay.
sodium, low fat, so that you can enjoy the taste of your food while in prep.
Okay. Good. Good. Now, is it true? Well, I don't want to ask you any controversial questions. It's kind of controversial, but it's not. It's kind of light. So, Tay, I'm gonna just. You don't have to answer it because I know of recent events that have happened in the IFBB, but they talk about there was a certain drug that dehydrated you that made you look really shredded. I don't know if you're aware of that, but there was, I think, was it this year? I forgot his name, but we had two IFBB pros pass away this year. One of them was, I think, Doug McMillan or Terry McMillan. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Yeah, I know the two bodybuilders that you're referring to. Yes,
Okay, okay, okay. And like I said, you don't have to. I
it's
don't
not
want to put you in a.
it's not necessarily. So a lot of people in the sport, I'm gonna lead with saying that I'm natural. I'm gonna lead with that, but
Okay, good. Okay, you're right. Right. Let's start off saying Tay is 100% natural. We like
I'm
that.
not.
Okay, good.
But there are
Okay.
several people who use uh, the drugs to build muscle.
Mhm.
And a lot of times those things can be with knowledge, those things can be used safely. Obviously they can be dangerous over time, but you're looking at these guys who have been doing this for a very long time, and
Right.
they once your body becomes used to something, you usually have to switch it up or up your dosages. And I
Right.
don't know if that was the case with them. I can't speak on them because I don't know their medical history. I didn't look at
Right. Right.
what caused their. I didn't. I honestly didn't look too deep into that. I just,
Right. Just heard
honestly
about the
felt
news and just yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But I know that in sometimes, and again, I don't know if that is the case with them, but some people get carried away and you just don't, they don't take these drugs smartly. Because
Right.
I will
Triadderall. Was that called Triadderall? I think that's what it was.
try Adderall. I'm
You may
not,
not know. Well, again, you're natural, so you won't even know. So okay, I'm not going to even ask you that
and
because
I
yeah.
am new to the sport. Like I've been doing it for less than a year. August will make it about a year that I've been in the sport. So
Okay.
I'm again like I'm not. I don't know a whole lot about the drugs that
Okay.
people are taking. Again,
Okay.
I'm in the military as well. I'm active duty, so a lot of
Oh,
those.
so you
Even if
can't
I
even
wanted to play with that, I could not play with that.
right, right, right. So you fall on a whole different restriction because of your
Absolutely.
military background. Okay, so you can't even mess. Okay, okay. See, and this is good. We doing this interview because everybody has this projection that all bodybuilders, they get in there, they start, cycling and
And
whatnot. So
it's not true. I know
right,
several people who compete on the pro level who
yeah,
are natural, who have qualified for the Olympia, who are natural, who are not on drugs, and they're really shredded because when you come down to getting like that, it's all the matter of genetics plays a huge part in that. And some of us are just naturally blessed to have the
right.
genetics to
That's
not have
true.
to do all of that. And then a major play in that is dieting and knowing and knowledge. It just comes down to knowledge. If you know what you're doing, you can get down to looking the way you want to look without
Hmm.
the use of the drugs. Off season training, on season training, all of that stuff plays a huge part in the way that people look when they jump on stage.
Okay.
So that's definitely it's so much more that ties into it. And I hate that people automatically put the abuse of drugs and steroids with bodybuilding because that's not
Right.
the case. And again, like I said, I am not on it, but I am not one of those people that's like, oh, that's disgusting or why would you do that? I think that if you are being smart with it and you're educated on what you're taking and you know what the risk of taking these high dosages, if you're
Right.
educated, everything because honestly, how what isn't at this point, you would have to be like one of those people that are completely natural, juice your own stuff, grow your own
Hmm.
stuff. A lot of the stuff that we eat on a day-to-day basis is dangerous
Right.
and it's a risk to our health. So again, like I said, with the proper knowledge and not abusing it, I believe that it could be helpful to those who struggle with it. But I don't have that issue, so I don't have to
Yeah.
get my hands dirty
Well,
with any of
Tay, okay, because I got
And this,
another question too. But look, keep going. I'm sorry, because I got so many questions. I
okay,
mean, yeah.
let me, because I watched and say I watched you
Okay.
start from beginning. As you said, genetics play a major
Hmm.
role. And one of the myths was that, and I keep, it kept coming up that it takes a long time to build muscle. And I watch you from where you started until now. Like you said, it hadn't been quite a year, and I watched a major change. Is it a myth, or that it takes forever to build muscle,
that.
or
That is definitely a myth. That is a
okay,
Okay.
myth because again, if you are educated, I have a coach.
mhm,
So my coach she's an IFBB figure pro, and she's been doing it for a long time. She's
mhm,
retired Air Force, and she started off in as just a competitor herself, lifting weights.
mhm,
And um, the biggest thing is diet, 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 diet. Like if I was to show you pictures from what I looked like in January to now,
yeah,
it would be mind blowing
yeah,
because I put on so much muscle just because my high intake in protein,
yeah,
my lower intake in carbs, a lot of things play a part into that. No sugar. I don't eat or consume anything with artificial or added sugar.
Hmm.
Everything is if it's sugar, if it's sugar, it's because it's already in whatever I'm eating. Like
right,
sweet potato, for example, is natural sugars. But that is definitely a myth. You can put on muscle, you can lose body fat with the right guidance in dieting. And I don't even like to say dieting because it has to become a lifestyle.
Right.
right,
It has
right,
to
Hmm.
become a
Hmm.
lifestyle. And I think that's what a lot of people get caught up in is wanting to get in these fad diets and not taking the time to actually learn what they
yeah,
want to accomplish and learn how to change lifestyles
yeah,
to fit that because it's not going to happen overnight, but
right,
it doesn't have to take forever.
right. Right. And okay, for a person like me, my journey, and I started at one point bodybuilding, and well, not bodybuilding, lifting weights,
With the weights.
and at one point I had to stop. So I'm trying to get back in it. What is your recommendation other than I know diet, and maybe you can touch down on diet and routine as well. What is your recommendation for a person like me that's maybe older? I guess it doesn't matter. Who's trying to get back in it and regain the muscle, what little bit I had, how to gain it back after being out for like 6 to 9 months? Is it possible to? Do I have to start over? Based on what you know and your knowledge, can you give me some advice or kind of give some direction or elaborate on that a little bit?
Definitely. I think so. That's the good thing about lifting, right? When you lift,
Mhm.
if you take a someone who lifts weights and someone who just does cardio, who runs,
Hmm.
muscle mass can be retained a lot longer than than any effect you would get from just doing cardio.
Okay.
Because so the thing, I say that to say that it's not it didn't go anywhere. You still have it there. You
Mhm.
just have to build onto it. So my recommendation would probably be um again, a big thing, diet is over. I believe, I want to say, everyone, if you look up the stats, they'll say it's over 70% of
Mhm.
changing your lifestyle, working out, changing your body. So with me, I eat 5 times a day. I
Wow.
eat 5 times a day. My day starts off high protein, low carb. So you have to fuel your body, and you
Mhm.
have to fuel your body with good stuff,
Right.
protein,
Right.
um, green veggies, things that your body can build off of. A
Okay.
huge, a huge thing with building. is you can't be afraid to pick up weight. If you're going
Hmm.
to build, you're gonna have to pick a weight.
Yeah.
You if you would like to maintain, you can stick with what's comfortable. But
Mhm.
I've definitely learned, especially in my off season, that I'm not gonna put on muscle until I drop the fear of like actually going above what I think is my limit, because
Okay.
your body is going to do exactly what you tell it to do. So if you think that, hey, I'm gonna, you have to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
So if you think about something so simple as a squat, right? You
Yeah.
start with a squat and you could start off with just a barbell of 45 pounds, and you do your reps and your sets for a week or two, until it feels like it's comfortable, but you have to keep progressing. You can't
Okay.
sit in one spot. So that's the main thing when it comes to building muscle, is that eventually, as your body gets used to what you're doing, you
Mhm.
keep pushing that weight up, keep lifting, eating healthy so that you can fuel those lifts and be able to do that, especially when it comes to building muscle. That's when we do want to get more carbs in us, because you're gonna burn them away. If you
Mhm.
are lifting, you're gonna burn the carbs. So it's okay to have
Right.
a little bit more carbs than someone who is inactive or who is only looking to change the nutritional part of their lifestyle, because some people do that and that's perfectly fine. But
Right.
if your goal is muscle, you're gonna have to eat. You're gonna have to take on a good amount of food.
Mhm.
Everyone is different, so I couldn't tell you exactly how much.
Right.
That's the hardest part about the lifestyle, is learning how your body responds to
Yeah.
things. I learned that for me, it's fats, healthy fats. Um,
Okay.
Before I go into the gym, I have an English muffin, 100% wheat English muffin with a tablespoon of almond butter. And almond butter has a decent amount of fat in it. So
Mhm.
the fat with those carbs fuels me. It's like I could feel my everything come to life before I even start working out.
Mhm. Okay.
So let me ask this question, because you got a lot of people in the weightlifting world, bodybuilding world, debating lift heavy, lift light with more reps. What does that look for like for Tay? What does
That's
um
that's all goal oriented. So again, like I said, you have to figure out what your goal is. You
okay.
have to know when you go in the gym, what am I trying to do? So starting off my prep, which is I compete in 4 weeks.
Okay.
Officially today, I'm 4 weeks away from my competition. At the beginning, more so going into my prep when I was in my off season, everything was heavier, and the
Okay.
reps weren't as high. But now that I'm going farther into my competition, or farther into my prep, I now need to cut. I need to cut down more. So now my all my lifts are high repetition, high sets, and lower weight, so that I can really get a pump in those muscles and start to cut away the fat, because my body percentage fat is what we have to get down.
Oh.
So it all depends on like what is your goal. It's all goal oriented depending on how you train.
But wait, you made a drastic switch from lift heavy to now doing more reps. So what? Okay, I missed that part. You you
It's a
you said
slow,
it, but
it's not drastic. It's a slow working. So for example, right now I do I do 5 sets for my deadlift at reps from 12 to 15. So
okay.
at whatever weight that I think I can pull for at least 12 reps for 5 sets is where I stay. And I don't want to be breezing through it, but I don't want to be like barely making it to 10. I need to be able to make it to 12.
Right.
So.
So at a comfortable rep, I guess you have a set number that you want to do.
Exactly.
Maybe. Oh, okay. Okay.
As
Now.
as before, my deadlifts were a 4 set, and I would do 10, 8, 6, 4 repetition. And
Hmm.
I was pulling weight, but the reps weren't as it wasn't as necessary for me. It wasn't like, okay, I got to hit these reps. It was like, I need to push weight for as long as I can. So again, learning your body. So once I got in there and I'm like, okay, I'm going to push this weight for 10 reps. If for this one, I only got it for 8 reps, and I know that
Right.
for my starting weight, I need to start a little lower because I can't make it to 10 reps with this. But everything doesn't need to be comfortable, but it still doesn't need to be
Well, you don't want to mess up your form either.
exactly.
Right,
Okay.
right, right. You don't want to mess up your form. Also, so basically, you start off and you just hit to failure, basically, for your heavy.
No.
No.
Well, you don't want to fail in your first 2 sets. You want to make sure that by the fourth set you're failing, but
Mhm.
not early on in your sets.
Okay, wait. Say, so you're saying when you're lifting off heavy, you're set to do 10. You're gonna do 10 off the gate.
Hmm.
Okay, okay, all right, all right. And that's why I'm asking you today because you hear people talk about lift to failure, and I mean, you be hearing all kind of stuff
Which
out
is
there.
a
So
great technique. It's a great
okay,
technique. So again, like I said, if I'm lifting to it, in a sense, it is lifting to failure because if I get to 8 and I'm failing,
uh huh,
that's still okay.
right,
But
right. It's
if
still within the range, right?
I want to build, then I need to do a little better at gauging where I'm going to start because as my reps, when I do that pyramid, as my reps go down, my weight goes up. So if
Mm.
I'm failing
Right.
at 8 at my lowest weight, then it's going to knock everything else down. So again, like I said, like I have to gauge where I'm going to be. And that's why for me, I write a lot of things down. My coach puts all
Hmm.
my stuff in like a Google like Excel type sheet.
Right.
So whatever I lift for that week, I'll put it in there so I know that all right, well this week this is around where I need to start. So it's a lot that goes into it and it can be very confusing. But
Oh
if
no, I mean,
you just have to figure out like what works for you. That's the main thing. What works for you.
okay, okay.
Well, let me ask you this. Is it important to have a trainer? Whether you want to do competition or you're just starting out, what are your thoughts on maybe starting out with a trainer to give you a program? What are your thoughts on that?
So with the environment of like how everyone is now,
Mhm.
everyone it's a fab thing on social media for everyone to be in the gym and
Yeah.
everyone's certified to train.
Yeah.
So if you can find someone that you feel like is genuinely interested in
Mhm.
you helping you, then
Mhm.
I think so. But if you're one of those people that like for me, I started off with a trainer, but he wasn't going with the goals that I had for
Okay.
myself. So I basically hopped in there and started learning. There's so many resources online for you to
Hmm.
look at. If you are completely uncomfortable with the idea of trying these things, then yes. But if you want it and you're hungry,
Mhm.
the internet gonna feed you because it's plenty of
Yeah.
stuff. When I first started out weightlifting, I literally would get on TikTok, I would get on Instagram, and I would find these workouts that were comfortable for me, or I'll just pick little things from here or there until I
Mhm.
got comfortable with it. And then as you get more comfortable, it'll be easier for you to try things that you're not so comfortable with. So
Right.
I think that it just depends on your mindset
Mhm.
and what how you feel about your journey
Right.
as to
Mhm.
whether you get a trainer or not. But I will tell people like just be careful with who you pick to train
Right.
you because everybody not doing it for you know how many people look at me and be like, "Do you train?" And I tell them no, and they be like, and I'll tell them I'm not certified, and they like, "Well, you should. You look like that. Like people are gonna look at you, and you just sell yourself." But
Right.
Right,
how
right.
am I really? I care about what I'm gonna tell someone else, and I don't have enough experience with everyone else's body with
Right.
different body types to be able
Yeah.
to give
Hmm.
that guidance. I can tell you what worked for me, but I
Mm.
don't have the knowledge to know how different body types respond to different things, which is what you learn when you get certified.
Right.
So many people that's just on a get money quick scheme, and they will
Right.
take the money and you won't see any type of changes from it. So I'm not against trainers. I'm not trying to talk against trainers. I hope to
Right.
one
Right. Right.
one, but I just say that, do your research, try to see if they have clients that, you've seen their progress,
Mm.
look up what they tell you. Like when my coach tells me, like when she tells me about certain things or while we're doing this, I do my research because I want to understand, and she explains it to me if I ask her. But I also want to look it up myself and see if the things that you're telling me align with other studies about how this may work with my body or how this, it you have to be willing to do the research, the groundwork.
So you can't really just be passive, pretty much, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Because the reason I ask is because when I joined the gym, of course, you know my journey, all that stuff. So I was never into going to the gym. So I was always afraid. But luckily, the gym that I was going to, the personal trainer that they had to start everyone off with, he is a bodybuilder, certified trainer, and he was, he won a number of competitions. So by me being new, I was comfortable with him. But now I'm not going at the same time he's there. So I'm trying to figure out, and I'm afraid of a lot of things because I have a lot of injuries from, prior accidents and falls and all that stuff. So I'm kind of afraid to try to figure it out on my own. So, and you said to you do Google and different things like that. Is it a what do you have any sites that you might recommend for people like myself who's 50 plus, who have, past injuries and different things like that?
I don't, but auntie, you have my number.
No, I'm just saying in general. I know I have your.
You better call me, ask me about something. I have. We can talk about things that may, because there's always alternatives.
Okay.
To
And
these,
that's why I was asking for
these
people
are
who, since
alternatives.
this is a live show, you may have some people who may have similar types of questions. I can always call you, and I understand that, but maybe some of the viewers may, need some type of direction. I'm not saying tell all your secrets or whatever, but I know you may have some type of information, maybe somebody you may follow or something like that that may, and you might not want to share that, but do
No,
you have?
I don't mind. I'm just saying that some of the people that I follow and I used to get workouts from and stuff are, younger and they are doing stuff that is like
Okay.
next
Okay.
level that most
Okay.
people may not be comfortable with. I definitely, it took me a long time to be comfortable with some of the stuff that I'm doing. Like,
Okay.
so I'm
Oh,
just saying that it does take time. Like, you just have to trust the process and be okay and and have some kind of grace with yourself. Like, don't put all this pressure on yourself. Do what you, like I said, do what you find, a couple of things that you find comfortable, and
Mhm.
then slowly work your way up. Things that you can't do
Mhm.
until you are more, I want to say, it just is comfort until you
Okay.
get comfortable in the gym and your surroundings. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know of any specific people, but that's something I'm definitely looking to, and I'll let you know because I'm sure there's people out there. They have, if you like go on TikTok, I don't know how many people have TikTok, but if you go on TikTok, you can put in like shy girl workouts. So there'll be workouts that are literally all dumbbell oriented that you're in one corner the whole time.
Okay.
mhm.
So
Okay.
these are the things that you can like look up and it'll give you great workouts,
Okay.
but it will limit how much you have to move around the gym or how many people you have to be in front of.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it makes it a lot more comfortable for people who aren't, aware. And that way you can look at them, they show you form,
Okay.
And that's another thing I do. Even still now, I'll be in the gym sometimes and I'll be like, okay, I don't feel this activating what it's supposed to activate. Let me
Right.
let me Google my form
Okay.
and make sure that I'm doing my form. And I'll just put the workout in and I'll
Okay.
see people doing it and I'll
Mhm.
literally copy it. And if it feels
Okay.
right, it feels right. If
Okay.
it doesn't, I move on to the next because everything is different for everyone's body.
Right. Okay.
Tay,
And
I got that. Oh, go ahead, Michelle. This is,
I was about to say, and then I don't, I ain't mean to interrupt you,
oh
but
no, you good. The question I got, it's not going nowhere.
okay. My
Yeah.
thing is, I'm comfortable with machines. Um,
Hmm.
and right now I'm not like a big body build. I'm not trying to body build. I'm just trying to, you know, get look nice. Since the weight loss, I gained some of the weight back. So I want to kind of drop some weight and tone at the same time. Some people don't like machines. Some people do. My coach for my particular at that moment said machines were better for me to cut back on, like my shoulder injuries and all that.
Yeah, the form.
How do you feel? This is opinion now. How do you feel about machines
I think
versus?
machines are great because machines force you to have proper form.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
So I like machines. I love machines, especially because a lot of machines when you use them, it's time and attention because it's
Hmm.
like if you think about like the cables and stuff,
Hmm.
it's a whole different workout than you would if you were to do dumbbells.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things on machines that I would rather do
Okay.
machines
Hmm.
than like my shoulder press. Like we have a shoulder press machine where you just put your hands there and they
Hmm.
got the little dials on it and you put it
Hmm.
Hmm.
out and you do it and it completely restricts any sloppiness that you could have
Exactly.
or
Okay.
anything if you were to do it with dumbbell. Machines are not bad. They're
Okay.
a great way to, especially for starters and people who
Mhm.
want to forget starters. I still use machines all the
Right.
time. Like
Right.
Okay. Okay.
it,
Right.
So I don't, as I progress, I do not necessarily have to get off the machines. I can still use the machines to my advantage.
there's not anything I can think of that you can't use a machine for.
Okay. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, and like she's saying, Michelle, it more likely you will have proper form as to
Right.
dumbbell. Even though I love dumbbells and barbells myself, but yeah, I
Hmm.
mean I love it all. But I will say, and I will agree with Tay that yeah, it helps correct your form. Tay, you said something that kind of sparked my interest because um, you know I'm up in age. And I've seen the evolution of workouts. I've seen it where people, I mean, exercises have progressed. So you're talking about these young people on Instagram and all that. Are they doing like freestyle exercises? Because I'm like, because like I said, I've seen the progression of
What do you mean
where,
freestyle?
um,
What do you mean freestyle?
meaning okay, like okay, back in the 70s and 80s, we didn't do compound exercises. It's like now there's more movement. It was simple. It was simple, like, simple exercises. Now it's like boom, 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 boom. Like they're doing all kind of movements. And it's like more movements. That's the progression that I've seen. But back in the day, it was just real simple workouts. Whereas now there's more of a compound workout.
Well,
So
when you say compound, what do you mean by that? Because a compound workout is just a workout, a movement that uses more than one body part. So a squat is a
right.
compound workout, a
Okay.
deadlift is a compound workout,
Okay.
um, um, uh, bench press is a compound workout. That is what you would call a compound workout. So what are you referring to as compound? Just things like
Okay, I guess I've seen like some weird exercises online. Like people, I guess it's less bodybuilding, more cardio. But I've seen people do all kind of just
it's called
movement.
it's called HIIT.
Hmm.
It's a high intensity workout. So
Okay.
it's just movements that combine movements so that you're working more than one body part
Uh huh.
actively. So you might see,
And tell you what I'm saying is this is a new phenomenon, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, it is.
is it?
It's a new, yeah, it is.
Oh,
This is a generational thing, because yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
it's
all the, and Michelle can vouch, right?
yeah.
It's new, and that's why you got even bodybuilders from the old school saying, yeah, they got exercises now that they develop muscles that didn't exist back in the competition in the 80s and the 70s. Like they're getting muscles on top of muscles, and just a
I
lot of,
think
yeah.
those movements again. I feel like it's all a fad. I know a lot of people are probably gonna get on me about that, but like
Okay,
you got to think. I have three different gym memberships, and each gym has multiple locations. So
okay,
I'm in these bodybuilding gyms, powerlifting gyms. One of the gyms that I go to is actually a powerlifting gym, and
okay.
you will
Now, do you do CrossFit by any chance? Because that's a new
absolutely
phenomenon
not.
too. Okay,
Absolutely
gotcha.
not.
Okay, okay. See,
But
now we talking into this new age stuff, because this is all new to me. Like I said, CrossFit and all that. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
but you see some people. I've literally seen some people who come in there and they are on Instagram and they have a huge following on social media. They'll
Right.
record themselves doing those movements that you're talking about.
Yeah.
They'll get a couple sets to record, to post, and then they go
Yeah.
lift their weights.
Okay.
It's a fad.
Okay. They
So it's
fronting.
not. It's
Okay.
not really
It's a
a
fad.
true thing. It's just
Right.
to
It's
make
a fad.
money, pretty much.
So
Some
basically, tell you are old school, traditional weightlifting. None of these new. Well, none of these new fads. I call them new fads. I mean, like I
some
said,
people
Michelle can vouch.
do. Some people do them. Some people do them, but
Okay.
a lot of it is fads. They just want
Got you.
to. It's what people want to see.
Yeah.
People want to see you extra explosive and
Right.
doing all these extra. I'm not doing all of that.
Right. Right.
I'm not doing all of that. I'm
Yeah.
But
gonna go and I'm gonna lift my weights, just
Yeah.
and do my cardio and leave it. I don't need to do all that unless that is the goal that you want for yourself. So some
right.
people don't want to do cardio. They don't want to do cardio. So those movements do help with still getting the same effects that you would get from cardio, shorter
Right.
Mhm.
rest times. Because at the beginning of my prep, I had a hit day, absolutely hated it. I complained on social media every day I had hit. I had hit days and I was literally active. I had a 2 minute rest, but it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. But some people
I
enjoy
love.
doing those because they don't want to do cardio because it's more bang for your buck.
Yeah.
You're lifting, you're doing these movements that build muscle while also keeping your heart rate elevated and you're
Oh, okay.
And I used to love. I didn't do it with like at the gym. I used to love hit when I did light hand weights and body weight. I loved hit because it was quick. You know
hmm
what I'm saying? It was quicker. I not so much
Okay,
hit.
y'all talking a foreign language to me. What
And
is it again?
that's what I would literally say. The only thing I liked about my hit days, anybody who talks to me on a regular basis, I would say this every Tuesday. The only thing I like about my hit workouts was I was in and out in like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Done. I was
Yeah.
done. It because my workout was I would start with 20 sit-ups. 20
Mhm.
sit-ups would go straight into 30 seconds of battle ropes.
Okay.
Right after my
Oh,
battle ropes, literally right after, I will go into 30 walking lunges,
Mhm.
come back down and do 30 uh, mountain climbers, 2 count, and then step ups, 15 each leg, and then
Mhm.
I will go into sprints. That was one set. There was no rest in between any of that. That
okay.
Okay.
a rest, 2 minutes, back at it again. And
Yeah.
I did that 4 times.
Yeah.
Hated it. I was so happy when she got rid of it. She was like, no more hit. And I was like, yes, my prayers have been answered.
But did you feel for me, like I said, that's when I first, well, kind of after I started like the walking stuff, like getting into it, when I started to progress, I think I liked it because I noticed for me it felt like I had more results, even though I was tired and all that good stuff. But for me, it seemed like I noticed my body changing faster. Did you notice that for yourself, or?
I can't say that because I can't say that for myself because I'm in prep. So with
Yeah. Okay.
everything shifting with my diet,
Mhm.
I was seeing it, but I don't know if it was because of HIT. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
I went from 16, I want to say I started at 16% body fat and I've gotten down to 11% body fat. So like
Okay.
a lot of things that all the changes in my body, I'm super lean than I was
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
So all those changes came from a lot of things that changed. So I don't know if it was specifically the
Yeah.
hit, but I will say that after a couple weeks, my first day, I literally cried after my hit. I felt so mentally beat
Yeah.
from that hit workout.
Yeah.
But after and more so because again, with my diet, I'm trying to lean out, so my carbs are
Mhm.
very limited. My carbs are very
Mhm.
limited, so I just felt so weak, and I was like, I hate this. I'm strong. I don't like feeling like this.
Yeah.
But after I say like the third week that I could
Mhm.
make it through without feeling like I was going to release all the food that I ate that day, it
Yeah. Yeah.
it got better. It got better, and I did feel better. I loved sweating and feeling
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
afterward, I could literally feel like it's a great feeling.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
tell I love
Yeah.
it. I love working out.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Well, I
working
guess
out is the best feeling for me. And I mentioned that before, as far as like my mental health, all that stuff. It's like, man, it's the for me, and I think most people that I talk to that's like really into it, it's the ultimate high. It's like for me, I don't need any medication, I don't need anything. Just hit the gym. Well, even when I wasn't going to the gym, just do whatever I was doing at home, and especially when I did hit, yeah, it was hard, especially in the beginning. I was like, man, this is crazy. But then I start to love it, and and like you said, I did say I noticed a difference in my body, but of course, at that time, I had already started eating differently. The only difference with me is because of my stomach situation, I cannot do a lot of carbs. So
mhm.
that's my thing about trying to follow a lot of other people. My medical situation is different as
Yeah,
far as
but
weightlifting.
like I said before, you don't need it. Protein, you don't necessarily need it. Protein is
Right.
where you're going to
Yeah.
that's carbs is just gonna
Give you
fuel
energy.
fuel. But you can
Mhm.
get that same kind of fuel from other things. It doesn't necessarily have to be carbs. Ideally it would be, but again,
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be.
Because I was saying for me, my dietitian, nutritionist, and my doctor has me high protein, moderate fats, low carbs, not ultra low like the fad diets, but low carbs.
Yeah.
And so when I tried to follow some of the other things, it didn't work. I couldn't do it because it would physically make me ill because the carbs were too high. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
It makes perfect
So
sense.
yeah, that's why I was asking you a lot of other questions about like diet and different things. That's why I was asking you that.
Are they asking me that? Do I still mix in calisthenics?
Yeah, I believe he's
Yeah,
asking you that question. Twin Pyramid. Yeah, he's
I
asking.
do. I do
Okay.
mix in calisthenics. My favorite is pull-ups. I do pull-ups every day. I do 100 pull-ups every day. Obviously not in a row, but throughout my workout, through my rest, I do pull-ups. And
Now, Tay, were you doing that in the military already, or was that part of your workout?
no,
Oh, so this. Okay, so okay, I get it. Let me ask this question because you mentioned your trainer, yourself, military background. So the training that you do in the military, because I know you guys do a lot of training, and the training as a workout, what is the difference? What is the because I guess the stereotype is the GI Joe. Everybody looks
I want
got the
everybody to let that go because in the Navy, um, I don't want to down my branch, but we have some big people. I'm telling you, we do it twice a year. We do a physical fitness assessment
uh-huh.
where you have to do push-ups,
Okay.
planks, and then you have either cart or run, which is a mile and a half run, or
Hmm.
you can do alternate cardio, which is the bike or the row machine.
Hmm.
So, and depending on your age, is what you have to hit for that. But like me, I'm 20. I'll be 27 next week. I'm 26 years old, and
Hmm.
I only have to be physically capable of doing 19 push-ups.
Oh, okay. So there's not a okay. I'm glad you said that because I had a misconception about the military. I thought it was high reps, high.
Navy. Navy. Let's make a Navy. The Navy. I'm in the Navy. In the Army,
Okay.
like I have a lot of military friends. So like
Okay.
if you get into another branch, I can't speak on that because some of their physical assessment exam or their physical assessment tests are way different. But
Okay.
especially like for the Army, one of my best friends is
Right.
in the Army and his day it's extreme. But
Wow.
again,
Okay.
I guess the point that I'm trying to make is the military doesn't force anybody to be in shape, really. You can do the bare,
Really? Okay. I'm learning something. Wow.
and some commands do like command PT and stuff, but like especially after COVID, that's been real hard to like get back into. So a lot of commands are not pushing. They're not pushing uh, for everyone to work out together. So you have to do what you're going to do on your own time. I'm telling you, before I started lifting weights,
So there's not an inspector that comes around and have a requirement for all of the people to at least reach a. I mean, I know you said twice a year.
twice a year for the PFA, yeah.
Oh, that's nothing.
But and I'm telling you, like you get these people who I was talking to someone today who, they go on these juice diets to try and like lose the weight right before PRT season.
Uh huh.
And then, they do what they got to do to get through it. And then they go back to doing however they do or whatever they want to do. And I can't, let's take a moment to like address the issues in the military as far as weight. Because if I'm not in prep, I don't make weight. I have to be taped because of the I don't know who came up with these regulations
Hmm.
and how far back, but it had to be a long time ago because I'm 5'11" and I've never been big. I've never been big. I've had a little thickness to me, but I've never been big.
Right.
Okay.
And I could not make weight for like 3 years until I actually got into weightlifting. I didn't make weight. In my off season, when I'm more fluffier, but I'm still has a lot of muscle mass, I don't make weight. They have to tape me. And then when I pull up my shirt for them to measure my waist and stuff, they're always like, "How did you end up over here like getting taped?" So if you don't have the ideal weight that is if you're not within it, then
Hmm.
they calculate your BMI by taking
Right.
measurements of your waist, hips, and it's a couple other measurements they take. And then if you fall within a certain percentage, then you pass. You still pass. I passed every time, but it was still annoying that I had to go through that because I'm not under. I wouldn't be. My max weight is 176, and I used to not make that weight, but I'm 5'11"
Right.
and I lift weights, so I'm muscle mass along with the body fat that I did have.
So now I got to ask this question because when doing the IFBP, so in the women's competition, does height play a role also?
It does play a role as far as what classes you compete in. So how it's broken up is the classes for each division is
Hmm.
by height. So once
Okay.
you win, so like my last competition back in November, I won in my height class, but then I had to go up against every other girl of each class.
Oh wow.
It was three classes. So
Okay.
my class A, B, C, my class being I think it was three classes. My
Okay.
class being the taller, maybe it was just two. I can't remember, but either way, the classes are based on height, and then the overall winner from each class then goes up against each other, and then
Okay.
we based off of who has the better package from each class.
I
And
see.
I have
And
to say, because I watched that competition, you already know that. And for you to be at that time just getting into it, did you not win second overall?
I was runner up for
Runner
overall.
up? Is that the same
nice.
thing? What's the? But
It's,
either way,
it's the
you
same thing.
think, huh?
It's the same thing.
It's
Yeah.
the same. Okay, well, runner up. You did well. Um,
You're gonna have to send me the link, Michelle.
okay.
I want to check it
Is
out.
that
Yeah.
link still active?
I have no idea.
You know what? I think I saved the video, and I probably can send it to him. But for
Okay.
you to be a beginner, I think I was like, and I was listening to the commentary. Man, I mean, I'm
And that
proud
was
of you.
here. That was here in Georgia.
Mm-mm.
No,
Was okay.
It
she
was
doesn't live in Georgia.
it was in
Oh,
Alexandria,
where?
Maryland.
Oh, you're up in
I'm in
okay.
Virginia. I'm actually in Virginia.
Okay, Virginia. Okay. All right.
Or Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia. Yeah, it's Alexandria is definitely in Virginia, but it's
Yeah.
up
Okay.
towards DC area.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I definitely want to check that out. I definitely want to see that. So you're, I mean, dang, the time go by so fast. So your next goal today is IFBB Pro. Is that what you're looking at now?
Like I said, I'm going to be competing August 20th in
Okay.
a national qualifier. If I can get qualified, if I place top two, I'll then be allowed to go to a national show where you can win your pro card there.
Oh,
So the
okay.
ultimate goal is to go pro, is to be an
Right. Of course.
IFBB pro.
Right.
But again, you just I'm gonna have to gauge where I sit with other competitors that are competing
Okay.
at that level. I haven't been doing this long, and I want to also brace myself because it's very strenuous. So
Right.
I don't want to just keep,
Yeah.
it's not healthy to just keep leaning out and staying completely
Right.
for months
Yeah.
and months at a time. So
Yeah.
it's just me and my coach is looking to see where we sit and what's the game plan once we get there.
Okay.
Oh,
So I got two closeout questions. Number one, the Arnold Pro.
Hmm.
Is that something that
You have to be invited to the Arnold.
Oh, okay. Now, what does Arnold do? Just send scouts around to different competitions and say, "Hey, I want Tay." Is that
I,
how that works?
So the Arnold is pros. So I think
Oh, okay.
it's full, like you have to have a certain amount of points, or I'm not exactly sure how that works. But
Okay, so they're taking the best of the best, is what you're saying. You already have to be. Okay, okay,
you have to
okay,
be a pro. They do have a amateur Arnold, but
okay. Yeah,
at that point, I know at least for the Arnold, you have to be invited because I've some of the people that I follow, you see them excited because they've gotten their invitation to compete at the
wow.
Arnold.
Okay, okay,
I'm gonna ask one more question before you close out, Bike Son.
okay.
Um,
Yeah.
you were talking about trying to see where you stand as far as going pro. Do you know the average amount of time that most people even reach the status where they can even qualify for pro?
I don't, but so many people, you see so many people do it at so many different pace. You may have some
Okay.
people who do it within a year. You have some people who it takes 4 or 5 years for them to get their pro card.
Okay.
For me, it's going to be a little harder with me being active duty,
Yeah.
Yeah.
deployable. So, and I already actually have a date to be deployable. So, once I deploy, I know that that's going to put everything on hold.
Okay.
But I'm gonna still be able to train. I'm gonna still be able to build, gain more muscle mass, so that when I do cut back down, I'm coming with an even better package than I have now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, I guess I got two closing questions. Number
Mhm.
one, what is the longest time to be lean out? Is it? I mean, because I know they say it's not healthy, but what? I guess is the maximum time limit you can be leaned out before it's considered unhealthy?
I don't want to say because I'm not a diet. I don't have the background to say
Oh,
that.
okay, fair enough, fair enough.
I
Yeah,
will say that it's a certain amount of percentage. So if we're talking single digits, I you don't want to,
right.
especially as a woman, our bodies not function properly under a certain amount of body fat.
Well, men too. No, men too. Yeah. I mean, you got these guys and they got the 8 packs and they shredded, but they can only sustain that for so long before.
And I feel like you
Yeah.
can't put a time limit. You can't put an indefinite time limit on that because again, everybody's body is different.
Okay.
So you might be able to maintain it for longer than I might be able to maintain it. I may be sick and completely weak and brittle.
Right.
You're
Right.
still functioning perfectly fine at 7% body fat. So it just depends.
Well, like I said at the beginning of the show, Tay, that's why they have those enhancements to dehydrate that suck up all the water out. And but like I said, we've had 2 deaths, so I don't,
Those are
Anywho, oh, go ahead.
those is those are two different things though that you're referring to. So
Okay.
you have um, those assistants that help you dry out.
Right.
And those can even be natural. Like dandelion root is good for drying out, for bloating.
Oh,
And I do take dandelion root because it helps move fluid through your body and dry you out. But you're referring to the
yeah.
steroids and stuff like that. That's what you were talking about.
Right. Well, I'm glad. We got to have you back on, Tay, because we need to talk about the natural routes. We about to close it out, but now I didn't know about the dandelion route. So this is good information because me myself, I'm interested in, the more natural routes, the more, like I said, not going, the other route. But my final question, and Michelle, if you got one more, you can let loose. Um, you being in the military, how do you do food prep there? Because how's that work?
I'm grateful for the support that I have within my chain of command
Okay.
because if I'm under deck and I'm turning a wrench, sometimes it be my coworkers telling me, "Hey, Greg, it's 10. It's your meal time. You want to go eat?" And I'll just run and go eat. And I mean, sometimes I eat my meals cold. Sometimes you got to walk and eat. But I mean, I have a lot of support at my command. I can definitely give them that. Like everyone's always checking up on me. If they see me looking a little more frail than usual,
Uh huh.
they're like, "Hey, where that gallon of water sitting at? You look like you feeling a little rough today." Like I have a lot of support there, so it's really easy for me to.
Well, what I meant to say is like, okay, you eat specialized food, is what I'm saying. The chow hall, do they supply what you want, or you just be basically off season when you're back in on the
No,
back in the service?
I meal prep. I go to work every day, but I meal prep. So I cook my meals and I put them in little bowls. I
Okay.
I think it's because of your thought of what the military looks like from a day to day basis.
Hmm.
And it's not, I promise it's not what you're imagining. Like chow hall, we have a galley on base, but no one at my job goes and sits in the chow
Oh
hall
no.
to eat.
Okay. So
Like
everybody goes out and eat and do their own thing, basically.
really, honestly, besides the fact that I'm working on boats that take Marines onto the beach, my day-to-day job is probably not too much different from yours or
Okay.
whoever has a 9 to 5. Like I go to work, we do whatever paperwork we might have to do, we go out and do whatever work we have to do on the boats or whatever it may be. We take a lunch break, we come back,
Okay.
finish. It's not, I promise it's not what you imagine.
Okay. Okay. I'm glad you cleared that up for me, right? Because I'm thinking, I watch a lot of war movies, so I I definitely got a misconception.
They are
There's a lot of
definitely,
World War II movies, so yeah.
yeah, it's not,
Yeah.
it's not. When
So
I'm
you're not living in a submarine for 9 months.
When I'm underway, yes, it is. When I go on a boat and we go out to sea and we're gone for a while, it is hard to maintain my
Okay.
diet because I do at that point we have no other choice but to eat
Right, right.
lines.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a whole different story. But
Right, right. I got you. I
today
got
when
you.
I'm not out to sea, it's I eat exactly how I would taking lunch. I take lunch every day.
Okay. Cool. Michelle?
That was it. She provided a lot of great information, and like
Wow.
you
Yeah.
said, it would be great to have her back because she dropped
Absolutely.
so much information on us. So it would have to be different categories, like you were talking about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
natural
The natural, yeah.
remedies and the
I'm interested
meal
in that.
prep, and in military and weight, competition, that kind of stuff. So
Hmm.
I would be glad to have her back if she want to come back. I'm
Of
sure you would as
course.
well.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you. And
and
please,
and
yeah,
I'm
because I,
glad that you dispelled a lot of myths about having to be on steroids to
yeah,
build and all those things, and that you can't be natural and you can't have a natural body to compete and all those things. That's why, because I knew you personally, I knew your story, I knew that you can shed a lot of light that the average person may not have known. So thank you for coming and sharing all your knowledge with us.
Of
yeah.
course, of course.
And I have to do this for the gang, the V gang. How many? And I don't know if you have any. How many of your, I guess, people around you, female bodybuilders, even men, how many of them are vegan, if any?
I know one.
One. Okay, they look good.
And she looks great. She's a
She looks
wonderful
great.
dancer.
Now,
Yes.
how does she manage her carbs, fats, and proteins? Because I know for vegans, it's like a whole different, I
I
guess, approach.
I have no idea. She's also a trainer herself and she's a
Okay.
nutritionist herself. So she has a lot of background knowledge on how to do that. She also had a lot of medical issues. So
Hmm.
like she beat cancer, stuff like that. So
Right.
she has um she has seen a lot. So and she's read a lot and you know, she's more knowledgeable. So I have no idea how she does it at
Okay.
all.
Like you said, everybody's different. Yeah, because I just want to. Yeah, I always take account of how many vegan bodybuilders there are in the into the sport and all that.
This
So
is one that
yeah,
I know personally, but I'm sure it's
okay.
plenty of them. It's plenty of them.
Yeah. Well, no, that's why I was asking how many you know personally. Right, right.
Yeah.
Because I know a couple, but I just want to know how many you know personally. But yeah, I know more. I guess famous ones, but not personal. Like you don't see them immediately, but like I said, I've studied people like Beckles and who else? Just yeah, just throughout the time, just different ones that I followed. So yeah, but none that I knew personally. But oh no, I take that back. Actually, I do know somebody here in Atlanta. She uh did competition here, but okay, so yeah, that I was just okay. I was just asking that question. I got to ask that for the gang, the V gang. So yeah,
Yeah,
got to ask that for them.
I know one.
Okay, okay. And she okay because that's another myth. If you're vegan, you can't get muscles. So you want to dispel
Not
that, right?
not true. Yeah,
Okay, okay, cool.
because
All right.
her claw is bigger than mine.
Quads. Oh, okay, okay, cool, cool. Okay, well, Tay, we love to have you back on because I got to ask you about the more natural remedies. That could be a whole show. For recovery, for like saying, take the water weight down safely, and yeah, we could. I mean, it's up to you. You know let Michelle know. Hey, let us know because we loved it. Like I said, it's Fitness Fridays, and yeah, I've learned a lot. Especially
Yeah,
about the
me too.
military. Shoot.
Yeah,
For sure.
Okay. Cool. And Michelle, send me that if you have it. Send me that
I'm,
competition. I definitely
I'm
want
gonna
to check
see if
it
I can find it. If I still have it, I'll send it to you.
out. Okay, great, great. Okay, well, thank you, Tay, for gracing us with your presence. Thank you, Michelle. And give a shout out to Deacon. We got thank shout out to the chat. We got a bunch of people in the chat. And yeah, we We would love to have you back on again. Whenever it's good for you.
One more thing too, Black Son, I forgot to mention next week we will have a certified trainer and nutritionist to come on and answer some questions about nutrition and workouts as well.
Okay. Okay.
So that's
Great.
Friday at 6 if nothing happens.
Okay. Well, is everything scheduled? Okay. 6 o'clock. Hey, like I said, we like to keep.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, y'all. So hope to see you again, Tay.
Of course.
And good luck with them competitions.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. And yeah. Uh, you want to close us out, Michelle?
You go ahead. You
Okay.
do your
Well.
normal closeout.
All right. We'll see y'all next week. Peace. We out.
Peace.
Peace.